The Show Your Mouth Lounge, episode number 341, with the big cast. That's right.
With big cast. He's here.
Big cast.
No.
He's big, and you can't teach that. That's right. The one out of our trio that will go on to long-term success is neither of us here in the actual tag team, but the fucking valet at ringside.
It's fine. She'll get set with a stinky horror gimmick.
Yeah, and then she'll sadly spend several years out of the ring trying to conceive children and suffering miscarriages, and it will be really depressing.
Who is that we're talking about?
Carmella.
Oh.
Yeah. Nonetheless, we got Addie, we got the Mike, we got the Pink. 3 different diseases.
Oh no.
The pink is the one that sounds the most like a disease, I have to admit.
I mean, I
don't pink eye, but when you remove the eye, it's like, well, what part of the body is pink now?
Yes. Like it's like jaundice, but you turn vibrant pink.
Right. Like, oh, he's got a case of the pink.
Oh man. All right. Let's hit the channels real quick. Pink, you got anything coming out on your YouTube channel?
Well, in theory, I'll have Super Mario Advance 2 coming out. I did not get around to recording anything last week because last week was hell, and I'd like to not deal with that this week. So, yeah. Hopefully this week goes a lot smoother than the last one. And I'll be actually able to record that and get it uploaded. We'll see.
All right. Addie.
Well, for one, I actually got a video out yesterday, which wasn't planned.
It happened by accident?
Well, no, usually...
These videos just show up on my channel, man. I don't know how it happens.
Yeah.
That would suck.
So sometimes they do feel like that, especially when I've set it up to be scheduled like a fucking half a year ago. But anyway, yeah. So I released a video. I sat down and recorded a video just because Steam is having a rhythm game thing going on where they're putting out like demos and shit. So I went, okay, the Steam Next Fest stuff was fun, so I might as well do a video on these. Sat down, recorded 6 games, and then I edited the video, and I didn't know when it would come out. I thought it would come out this week, but I just went, fuck it, the video's already edited, so I just published it.
Why not?
Yeah, so there's a video, it's an hour and a half long, of me playing 6 rhythm games. Some of them good.
That's a lot of rhythm.
Yeah, some of them good, some of them not so good. There was one where, like, according to the Steam page, one guy is working on it, but it looks like it's a fucking it's a full-on AAA game from the mid 2000s. And the writing on it is impeccable. The game was written for me. The main character speaks in references to Linkin Park for some reason.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's odd.
Like, he doesn't completely speak in references to Linkin Park, but it's a recurring theme enough for me to notice. 3 times in the 2-hour demo. So, there was even a point, there was even one, where I noticed it during editing, but not during recording. So that was neat.
What is a Linkin Park reference? Is it just like a reference to one of their songs?
It's just putting the lyrics into regular conversations.
Oh, okay.
So like one character betrays the main guy, and then the character betrayed the protagonist because the protagonist did something they didn't like, and the response is, "I'm sure there was somebody else that was disappointed in you," or something like that. So just things like this.
I see.
There was also one. The protagonist was talking with their like partner teammate person, and the teammate person just insulted them for putting in cologne for doing vigilante work at night, and the protagonist just replies with every word you say puts me one step closer to the edge, and I want to break. which is just the chorus to that song. Like it's just straight up the chorus to fucking I'm About to Break or whatever the fuck that song is called. I forget.
Yeah.
Like it was great. I had the most fun with that game just because like it had both the visual style that I like and also just had the writing was like these references didn't ruin the game. Is the thing. Like they were in there and I could laugh at them because they're in there. Like there was a goofy charm to the writing, but I also was interested in what's happening. So they did a good job.
Yeah.
And then the other games, I somehow managed to go, so for these compilation videos, I'm definitely not buying time so I can go through my 400 videos that are scheduled for the next 2 years and find what's coming out this week.
See, it's funny to me that you have that many videos scheduled for release. I have probably like 3 or 4 times that many videos that are probably just never going to be updated or uploaded. Because I just drag my ass on that stuff. I just never get around to it. So I have tons of videos that I recorded from years ago that are just probably never going to see the light of day. Not a very good practice.
Yeah, so when I do these compilation videos, the video things, I sit down and I go, okay, let's go for variety, so that if people aren't fighting with the game, they can just skip and it's not the same thing again, but with a different coat of paint. And so sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. With the rhythm games, I thought it worked pretty well because I got like a rhythm bullet hell, I got a rhythm fighting game, I got a regular S rhythm game. Like it's just straight up a conversion of an arcade game. I'm pretty sure. I had this game, which was once again it was like the world ends with you, but you also do dances.
Naturally.
Yeah.
If the world is going to end with me, dancing is exactly what I would do when drunk with such power.
Yeah, and you would also only specifically do the caramel dancing.
Oh, I don't know what that is, but it does sound very specific.
It's an old
dances with
yeah.
Anime little girl dance. There you go.
Ew.
The funniest bit is that it's not even like proper anime little girl dance. It people thought it was Japanese for the longest time. It's like fucking Danish. It's a Danish song.
Awesome.
Yeah. But yeah.
All right.
So,
anything else?
yes. So on Monday, Kingdom Hearts continues. Apparently, I leave everything to Riku. At least judging by the name of the video. Then, Veteran
That can
Yatoshi.
either work very well or very poorly, depending on the game.
It's one.
Okay, you've made a mistake.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just played this pig very well. She looked like a doofus.
That's because she is a doofus, and so are you, and so am I, and so are all of us here.
She did something that actually normally happens to me. I threw down. It doesn't really matter. The specifics. I threw down a pallet that either she could have. I threw down a pallet in such a way to where she mind gamed herself into jumping off of a ledge next to it instead of just like breaking it and coming to get me. And thus, by falling off the ledge next to it, she made it completely safe for me to just like stand there and laugh at her from above. It was pretty great.
Nice.
At least yeah, it actually worked out really well for me. Unfortunately, she wound up getting this other person as a result, but that's that person's fault for trying to run in and get his flashlight save. Yeah, I don't know, it's just a pretty fun little moment. Oh, she's probably gonna get me now, though. Yep, there she is.
Then, Veteran Orinato then returns with 2+, which is in Japanese.
Did it need to, though?
Yeah.
No, the game.
Critics agree.
Like, Veteran Orinato Shinden is one of those games that, like, people say it's very momentous and matters a lot to fighting games, and I just don't fucking see it. Like, maybe I don't have the like, maybe I don't have the exact, like, lineage of when games are released and all that in my head, right? But, like, to me, it feels like Soul Calibur is much more Namco going, what if we made Tekken with swords and not feeling like shit, because at the time it was Tekken 1 and 2. Instead of, what if we made Battle Royale Toshinden but not sucky? You know?
Yeah, I mean, Oh, go ahead, Mike. You're
No,
actually
no,
the one I was who would have the best understanding of this period.
That's actually kind of ironic that you say that. I was about to say that I find it funny to think that Tekken and Toshinden both first released way back during my era, like when I was a teenager, and I don't think I really ever played Toshinden more than maybe a minute or so at that.
You chose right.
Tekken I played, Tekken 2 at least. Is it really not good?
Mike, I've played every Toshinden game at this point. Genuinely, all of them.
Oh, okay.
And like,
Addy, I have to ask, am I thinking correctly or incorrectly when I ask, is Ballerina Toshinden not the 3D fighting game where you have to press a button to turn around?
not to turn around, but you can only roll into the background or foreground by pressing a button, yes. You might need actually now that you say it, you might need to press a button to turn around, because I remember that it's a series-wide issue that you just cannot, like, the characters don't fucking turn around on time. Sometimes it's off frame, sometimes they just stand there and then teleport.
Yeah, I thought that for certain that was the thing I'd heard. The Ballerina Toshinden was like a fighting game that breaks fundamentally if either of the fighters jumps over the other.
Yes.
And they're just,
Yes, that is true.
they're pretty
That's
well
a well-made fighting game, then.
And that's the thing. That's the thing,
quality.
Mike. There's 4 games on the PS1. All actually like 5 or 7. I don't know. Whatever. All of them work like this. All of them.
So maybe it's not a bug; it's a feature.
Maybe the intended gameplay mechanic is ass to ass.
Yeah.
Ass fighters.
The intended gameplay mechanic is ass to mouth.
Oh god.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I've played like throughout the years at this point. On my channel, you will see me slowly, just in batches, go through the Toshinden series, because I played the first 2 because people say it matters a lot to 3D fighting games, and I was like, I never played Toshinden. Actually, that's a lie. I played Toshinden for like an hour, and I thought that it played like ass. So then I proceeded to not play Toshinden. But maybe there was something that I didn't understand. And now that I've played through all of the series, I can tell you, no, there's nothing that I didn't understand. Toshinden sucks.
Toshinden, to my understanding, is honestly just little Timmy won't go to the arcades to play Tekken or Virtua Fighter there. So he picks up Toshinden for the PlayStation and is like, oh my god, this is amazing. Because,
It's Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
little Mikey. Little Mikey doesn't go to the arcades. So he picks up Toshinden.
It's so much better than Punch Out.
Yeah.
He actually showed up on the Jimmy Kimmel show, unfortunately, but nonetheless, it was funny. He actually played Mike Tyson's Punch Out, Mike Tyson himself, and he wasn't good at it. He was like, "Wow, I can't play this."
Yeah,
and then he ripped off the NES's ear.
Yeah. Well, that was a little bit later in life when he was a little bit more calm.
Yeah. Instead, this time the NES ran into his fist.
Yeah.
Toshinden, I think Toshinden and Tekken and Virtua Fighter, I think those are the first 3. I think those are the first big 3 3D fighters to my memory. They came out
Virtua
roughly
Fighter
around
was
the same
the
time.
original,
Yes,
right?
Virtua Fighter
memory.
was the original, as far as I know.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, 93 or 4 that one came out, and I think it was 95 for the other 2, 95 or 6.
But yeah,
Was Virtua Fighter not like the original true 3D game altogether?
I don't think so. No.
Virtua Fighter 1
No.
was pre-Doom, wasn't it?
Well, what do you mean by 3D necessarily? I mean, like the character models were 3-dimensional, but it didn't have like 3-dimensional plane. It was still roughly like 2.5D. Like the first actual like
I don't mean.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't mean ability to move into the foreground or background, but I mean like voxel or polygon-based graphics.
The first one then would be for one, I think there's a driving game on the SNES that used the Mode 7 chip, like an updated version of it that was even more like better than the one that Star Fox uses.
Was that like Test Drive or something like that?
Maybe. I don't remember what it's called. I just remember it looks like ass. Apparently it's good, but it looks really bad. It's aged horribly.
That sucks.
I would have to imagine fucking Star Fox looks like ass.
Yeah.
It actually kind of holds up in my opinion. I think obviously it doesn't look like quote good, but it's kind of impressive to look back on it now.
Are you talking about the original Star Fox or are you talking about 64?
Oh, the original. Everything I said this
okay.
to you before, Alex, is that this is just my opinion, but everything from like the 32/64-bit era really holds up the least, in my opinion. It doesn't have
Yeah.
the charm of pixels, nor does it have the detail, the realism of, like, let's say, relatively speaking, the 2000, like the PlayStation 2 era onward.
Yeah.
Like
It's not
between
hit Mario
95 and
64.
2000. Yeah, Mario 64 still looks pretty good.
Hey,
Nintendo.
it sucked.
I never really played it, to be honest. My big thing back then was Zelda, which of course was like 2 years later, but I played that a lot, whereas I barely played Mario 64 at all. But even Zelda 64, a game I love, I can look at it now and point out so many just mud-ass, smeary, shit-looking graphic textures.
Yeah.
It's so ugly. Yeah, it's so ugly.
Well, if you ask somebody on, who actually knows a thing or two, what's the best aged game visually from the 6th gen, I think? Was that the 6th gen?
I
No, it
don't
was the
remember
5th gen.
gen numbers,
I think
to
it's
be
the
honest.
fifth or fourth, something like that.
Nintendo, I think Atari and so forth was first, and then I think like Nintendo was second, Super Nintendo was third. I believe.
No,
So
Nintendo was third, because...
Nintendo was third. Then Atari would be
I-
second. If so,
Or the brown box.
First might be Pong.
The first is the brown box.
the brown box.
That's an actual thing. It was the first, it was before Pong. It was meant to be a home video game console. It never saw release because expensive. It was like 72.
Okay.
So But yeah, the brown box. It had games like the fucking Intellivision. That quality.
Oh. Yeah, and television, ColecoVision. I thought that was around the time of Atari. Atari for me was 81, 82.
That was
but
those were around the time of Atari, but the brown box had like Intellivision quality or sort of quality games. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
So like
I see what you mean.
like if memory serves, how it worked was exactly like the Intellivision, where it drew a pixel that you could move, and then you just slap a fucking overlay on your TV.
Oh, right. That's right. Yeah, you literally put a plastic transparency on your screen to make like the map of whatever game you were playing,
Yes.
or the.
I remember that
boundaries,
used to be a gimmick
football
with-
or whatever. Yeah.
That used to be a gimmick with Pong to try and make Pong look like it wasn't Pong.
It used the same like concept of Pong, but it made it look different. You were still basically playing Pong, but it dressed things up to make it look like it was a different game.
Yeah, I've seen like they would sell like little see-through sheets of like a tennis court to try and make Pong, like where someone drew a fucking tennis court. But naturally, it's not going to be tennis players. It's still going to be, underneath on the screen, it's still tennis being played by two white fucking 2x4 pillars.
Right.
Oh, man.
Don't find me, pig. Don't find me.
But yeah, anyway,
But,
so
like,
yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Eddie.
Alright, I
I've
was
been
just
found.
gonna say, so yeah, the Toshinden games, out of all of them, I've played as far as I know, literally every Toshinden game ever released, even the ports on the Saturn, and the only two good games, well, better than the series quality, are the conversion on the Game Boy, the original Game Boy, actually, if memory serves, of the first two games, was the best game in the series.
Which game's that?
Toshinden, Battle Royale Toshinden had a
On
Game
the
Boy.
Game Boy?
Yes, a Game Boy conversion, and it was the best game in the series.
Wow.
Because
We're talking at least Game Boy Color. Well, no, it'd have to be beyond color, right? For it to be any good, wouldn't it have to be like at least advanced or forward?
it's OG Game Boy.
I'll say
Wow.
I'll say for OG Game Boy, Metroid 2 is all right.
Metroid 2 was really good. I owned that game back when it was still contemporary, when it was new. I really enjoyed it.
Very claustrophobic, but other than that, good.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a good sequel.
Yeah. You can see the progression from Metroid 1 to Metroid 2 to Super Metroid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 2 really was a fairly good transition, and it also it used really good big graphics for the Game Boy's tiny little screen. Like it really felt like, I don't know, like it wasn't like a bunch of straining. Like it felt like you were really, I don't want to say immersive, but it just felt, I don't know, like more. I don't know what would be the word for it. Like even Super Mario Land for the Game Boy, the characters are still really small. Like the details were really tiny. But in Metroid 2, like it was maximized for the Game Boy. It was like the Samus was like really big. The levels were, as you said, really claustrophobic. It didn't feel like you were running around a lot of blank open space. It felt like you were really in kind of like a tight maze with a big character.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then there's the second best game in the Toshinden series is they tried to do a reboot on the Wii, where they just fucking canned everything and just made a new game, but titled it Toshinden, basically. That ended up being
Wii?
yes, it was Japan exclusive. This game is somehow the best in the second best in the series.
Oh man.
From the Nintendo 64 to the Wii, we're cataloging all the best Nintendo consoles.
No, it
Yeah,
wasn't on the
the other-
Nintendo 64. It was on the Sega Saturn and it was on the PS1. Saturn. I said that very weird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't catch it until you pointed it out.
Making sure to skip all the good generations here. They're holding out for the next console that sucks fucking dick.
The other day, somebody on
Toshinden 5 on the fucking Ouya.
Ouya.
Well,
The Ouya.
PlayStation.
Oh yeah, that thing. Okay.
We're gonna see the next Sony or Xbox, and it's gonna be the shit station, and it's gonna be subtitled "Why did we release this?" And then Toshinden is gonna be like, "Finally, our time has come."
Toshinden is a launch title.
Yeah,
That's
it's the only title.
Yeah.
They never make any other games other than the Toshinden pack-in game.
Yeah.
So, coming soon, the Sony Toshinden station.
Yeah. About a week ago, somebody on YouTube was talking about video games. I can't remember how it got brought up, but I mentioned that, wow, the Nintendo was really like the most like important video game system, because not only did it revive a legitimately dying game industry that probably would have just collapsed if not for Nintendo. We can't say for sure, but that just is what happened. They revived it. And on top of that, it started so many franchises that are now major, like Mega Man, Castlevania, obviously Mario, Zelda. Well, technically Mario existed before, but not his own single game. It gave birth to major companies like Konami, Capcom. It just like Nintendo was so important. And then like somebody replied to my comment and they said, actually I would say the Nintendo 64 and GameCube are probably more like bigger, more memorable systems. And I'm
legitimately, as a person who was born in 2002.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah, I asked him. I said, "What criteria are you using to come to that conclusion?" I just laid out why the Nintendo is such a major system. Now you tell me yours. And they were like, "I can think of so many great games for those two games, just as much as on the Nintendo." And I'm like, "Okay, all right, whatever then."
The NES did not have Luigi's Mansion. Checkmate. Checkmate, ATS.
True. Yeah, he's got a point
I'm
there.
not smelling Metroid Prime in here.
Yeah.
This is back when Metroid was them side-scrolling games.
I don't see any wind waking in this Zelda.
Where are all the Pikmin?
Yeah. Really quick, what's going on down there, Pink? Do you know? Oh, you're on a gen.
Yeah, I'm on a gen outside. I'm not in the lobby, so I can tell you what's going on over there.
I'm on the far opposite corner that you are, so I don't know what's going on either.
Why is this Kid Icarus not uprising?
No. I tend to forget they even made another Kid Icarus. They made the Nintendo one, and then they made the one for the Game Boy, and then it seemed like they never really wanted to touch it again. So.
They made a remake on the 3DS, which was called Kid Icarus Uprising.
Okay. What system did you say that was?
3DS.
3DS.
That was a 3DS. Okay.
It's supposed to be very good, except for the fact that it has very intense
Touch
afterburner
controls.
style segments that will annihilate your wrist.
Oh, that's no good.
Yeah, old Liam with the Super Best Friends, allegedly, he couldn't do button mash segments in most games because his wrists were jammed up from playing that game.
I could make a really inappropriate joke right now about Liam, but I won't.
About how he was touching his dick?
No, I guess I'll go ahead with it. Liam would be, given how much of a limp wrist he is, that's not a surprise.
Oh,
yeah.
That's better than being limp somewhere else.
Well, that's true, but the joke wrote itself more in the other direction.
The whole man's limp. He just drags along the floor where the other Super Best Friends have to, he's like a kite.
Every time Matt does collab with him nowadays, he just has to drive to Liam's house and then just carry him there.
Carry me, Matt, and eat my shrimp potato chips.
There's something so unwholesome about flying a kite at night.
What is that from? I know that from something.
Simpsons.
Oh, Simpsons, of course.
The very same scene. Lisa, you get in here. In this household, we obey the laws of physics. Or thermodynamics.
I did not know that was the same episode. Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, then the final video that's coming out on my channel this week is More Perfect Apocalypse. we finally find we face with the horror of becoming the inferior twink.
Oh no.
That's not great.
Yeah, just given what the terminology is, I would think that being an inferior twink is like really bad. I would think that's something you don't want to be.
There's like a whole twink hierarchy.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it gets into the economics get weird when you compare, like, okay, but where's the superior twink to like the inferior, like, the other gay subcultures? Like,
shit. It's just really
Like,
quick. I'm sorry, Pink. I watched that happen, Pink. I watched her come down from upstairs, and I didn't know that was you down there. Otherwise, I would have said, "Pink, watch out, she's coming."
I know.
That sucks. Yeah, I was worried she'd find me. I was up there breaking a totem, and I watched her jump down. Sorry about that.
I think
go on, Alex.
I think bear, otter, and regular are the three other body types.
regular gay.
Yeah. You have your you have your twinks, and then you have like your fucking venti and grande.
I don't know what the hell that means. I know grande.
Those are Starbucks sizes.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to know the real fucked up thing about Starbucks? I'm pretty sure that grande is actually the smallest size.
Are you sure this isn't like Taco Bell?
Nope, this is Starbucks.
This is Starbucks,
Trust
huh?
me.
I like some Taco
Okay.
Bell.
I'm really hungry for Taco Bell now as soon as you said that. Yeah.
But
I can't do Taco Bell anymore. For whatever reason, it annihilates my insides. Regular Mexican doesn't, but fake Mexican does. Go
You
figure.
eat so much spicy food though. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think it's the spiciness. Well, Taco Bell's not really that spicy. I don't think it's the spiciness. I think it's the grease.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I could buy that for sure.
Because like, there's a few like I can't have ribs, even though I enjoy them because they're super
Oh.
fatty, and my diet is not very high fat at all. So it slides right back out if I have ribs.
Oh.
It's
You don't want food
unfortunate.
doing that. Yeah.
Taco Bell usually is the opposite. It doesn't move. It just stays there for like over 24 fucking hours.
that sounds like the
Yeah.
problem is the lack of grease then.
Yeah, in that case, actually does.
You'd think so. Really, what it means is that anytime I have Taco Bell, I also have to have ribs on the side.
Right.
Yeah.
Balance.
It'll even
Oh.
out. Then I'll get a nice, consistent bathroom experience. Gotta rate these things, man.
Yeah.
Gotta work out the numbers.
You gotta- I was reminded of that fucking image I posted a couple of days back. Of the person going, there's reviews on Grindr now?
Oh, yes, that was amazing.
Isn't Grindr like a sex site or something?
Yeah, it's a gay
Yeah,
hookup app.
It's a gay hookup phone
Oh
app.
right, that's
And,
right.
and one of the reviews, like most of there were 3 reviews posted with this caption. One of them, I guess, made sense. The other 2 didn't. The one that made sense was just 4. I think it was 4 stars. Nice face, mid hole.
Oh God. What?
Yeah.
I don't even know what to make of that.
And the other ones I remember just being like literally a cookie emoji, whatever that means. And then I forget what the last one was. Do you remember, W?
So I'm actually looking at the picture right now. Allow me to clarify. It's not a cookie emoji. It's a painting palette, a paint palette, which is also confusing. Because he gave this sexual encounter a half a star. So that, with the review just simply being a picture of a paint palette, I'm curious. At the same time, I'm not. Right?
Yeah.
It's like I'd like to know ahead of time whether or not this is mind-violating information. And if it is, I'm cool. But if it isn't, and if it's just something really funny, I'd like to know the context.
Yeah.
And then the last review is 2.5 stars. This man is not 5'9!! Exclamation point. Beware! Exclamation point! Exclamation point.
Help. Oh, you need help too. Sorry, I
I
was talking.
thought that was a review.
Yeah, that's why I specified. That actually worked out a little better.
5 stars. Help.
Oh man.
Uh,
You get real concerned if it's a pattern of reviews to this guy's, sexual encounters that are just saying help.
Yeah.
She is downstairs, by the way, kind of below us, but closer towards that courtyard.
Roger.
Thankfully, she's in chase.
So anyway, W, your channel.
Yeah, my channel. So I've actually got nothing uploaded for the moment. I've got a miniature mic situation where I've got 4 or 5 videos sitting on my hard drive that have not been uploaded yet. Castle Crashers, KOF98.
That's already out.
Tide. KF90, I already uploaded. Oh shit, I need to delete that.
Well, I don't know, because if memory serves, so I cross-reference it with my session, and my session was like 2 hours long, and your video was like 15 minutes. So,
oh, something happened there.
yeah.
Fuck it, it's out there now. Who gives a shit? So yeah, for me, it's gonna be Castle Crashers and Vermintide this week. Woohoo!
I like it.
On the group Devolution channel. Tomorrow, the 26th, Monday. Go ahead, Eddie.
Alright, I just wanted to note, I actually spent the fucking 4 hours it took me to actually title all of the videos that were scheduled but didn't have titles.
I see. Thank you.
Lord.
Yeah. I titled, I want to say, 40 videos today. It wasn't that much, but it was like, I want to say, I don't know, 25, 30, around there.
That's a lot.
All right. Tomorrow, August 26th, Monday. Dragon Porn, Part 24. No, wait. Danganronpa, Part 24.
I was just what you said, but never mind.
Yeah, Dragon Porn comes out next year.
Yeah, we did have that video of Nekojishi, but that doesn't have a dragon. Wait, Ragu!
I don't want to know. Proceeding. August 27th, Tuesday. Capcom vs. SNK 2, Part 8. August 28th, Wednesday. Payday 2, Part 25. August 29th, Thursday. Last Blade 2, Part 4. August 30th, Friday. Street Fighter 6, Part 26. And lastly, August 31st, Saturday. Phasmophobia, Part 31. There you go.
Nice.
You know, numbering these makes sense. That's what I should have done all along. I should have just made just a nice, simple, easy to comprehend sequential. Just this is the second time we played this game together. This is the third, fourth, fifth, etc., and so on.
Yeah, for a while I was avoiding that and just going with quick, snappy titles because I was like, people may tune in for quick, snappy titles. Turns out they don't tune in for that. So by this point, it's like, fuck it. This is just an archive for playing with the guys. So I should just go back to numbering them.
Right, makes sense. She's coming your way, Pink. No, she turned around.
Okay.
She's on me. She's upstairs. Sorry, she was going that way and then she turned around.
All right. I got to suggest.
Sorry, just Pink, if you want to. I'll let you decide what you want to do, Pink. I'm not sure what she's doing right now. I thought she was on me, but she appears to have backed off.
Yeet.
No, she's still on me. She's absolutely still on me.
Ahem. All right.
Sorry.
So, no, it's fine. I was choking on a little bit of water anyway, so you actually afforded me a little bit of time. Yeah, there we go. So, the topic I suggested was, what's a time when you were doing something in a game for innocent reasons? You're doing something in a game for, mechanical reasons or for fun or just because it amused you, but innocently at the time you're doing it. Not being sadistic, not just testing to see if the game would let you do it. And you do it. And it's only after doing it that you realize, oh my God, if that had happened in real life, it would be horrible. And I'll throw out my own answer just as a quick example, though, to be honest, I think a liberal interpretation of this question is somewhat in order. Nonetheless, I was playing Tropico earlier today. Now, Tropico has a stat that is your citizen happiness. That is dependent on many things. Can I worship at church? Do I have enough food? Can I get a job? Do I have somewhere to live? Yada, yada, yada. The things you'd expect in a city building game, yeah?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And it also has, since Tropico, the gimmick is you're playing as a dictatorship in the Caribbean, it also has Caribbean happiness, which is the average happiness of other nations in the Caribbean. that your nation's happiness gets compared to determine whether or not the people will vote for you next election or whether they'll try to replace you with someone else. Now, I picked up an ability in the late game, the Caribbean Trade Federation. What it does is it makes all of the products that your country make, all of your country's products, more valuable. In exchange, it also makes the rest of the Caribbean happier. So it means that your competition for happiness and keeping your people voting for you every election that much more vicious. However, you can tell your military facilities to go around raiding the other countries in the Caribbean to artificially lower their happiness.
Nice.
So I was doing both at the same time, and I was running a trade federation with the other countries in the Caribbean to make plenty of money, while also sabotaging them and ruining their countries.
Ah,
And
and your
somewhere.
your name is Chiquita Banana. I see.
So about 30 minutes of doing that, I stopped and went, "Oh my God, I'm Saudi Arabia, and I'm doing this to the rest of the Middle East."
I'm gonna get you, Pink, because it's gonna be very easy for me to do so. So hang on.
Oh,
All right, I have a similar-ish, I suppose, example. But I've since I don't know when, but I guess it was free, so I have Endless Legend now.
Yeah. It was free for a little bit. I think I got you to pick it up there.
Yeah, probably. So yeah,
You can do some fucked up shit in that game depending on what culture you pick.
I've been playing with the Draken for the most part because they're like the only non-DLC like characters that aren't just the fucking the swarm that aren't just boring humans.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the mercantile humans, but I think that's pretty in keeping with stereotypes for me. The Draken are one of the least
Damn it.
fucked up, though. They're mostly pretty cool.
Yeah. So what I did is the Draken, since they have high diplomacy and the diplomacy is their whole thing, the Draken have this thing where if they have enough whatchamacallit, star power, I forget. They can,
Power.
Influence.
yeah, influence. If they have enough influence, they can force you to be their friends. So what I did is I took my two greatest potential enemies, the two other largest factions in the game, and then I just forced them to be my friends until the end of the game.
Force them. I like the idea of
Yeah.
forcing someone to be your friend. Like at gunpoint, you will enjoy my company.
Genuinely, yes. But instead of gunpoint, I'm just like, I have more influence than I'm willing to throw on more influence than you. You will be my friend, and they go, all right, fine, I guess. And then every 10 turn, they go, actually no, wait, fuck, I don't have to put up with this. I'm gonna declare a war on you. And I go, no, you're my friend. And then they put down the weapons and then just continue. It's like nothing happened.
Yeah, you figure out pretty quickly playing the dragons in Endless Legend. Oh, well, the description says, use influence to force diplomatic maneuvers on other factions and use it to instill world peace and win the diplomatic victory. And they make it sound like, oh, these are the great and wise dragons that bring about world peace. Then you play them and it's actually like, no, it's really more politically manipulative scheming.
Yeah. I mean, the best part was there was this one enemy faction, the cultists. They were a pain in my ass, and then
Yes, they are.
and then I swear every game I spawn next to the cultists or the mercantile people. It's those two, and they always are a pain in my ass. The mercantile people less so, but because the mercantile people at least I can go, hey, here's money, and they go, okay, fine. The cultists, you just gotta outmaneuver them. And so what happened was
the cultists.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say with the cultists, you expect the cultists to be relatively peaceful neighbors because, like, oh, hey, their gimmick is they can only own one city, so they're not going to be too expansionistic, right? No, it turns out they want to have their one city and they want the world to be otherwise completely fucking empty.
Yeah. But yeah, so what happened, I didn't know that the cultists can only have one city, but that explains stuff. So what happened was, I had expanded because the game is, like, I like building tall, y'all know this. Endless Legend is the anti-tall game. You play wide.
It's going to depend.
It's
going to depend a lot on who you play. And
Yeah.
who you play.
Yeah, that's definitely a fact because there are in fact 2 civilizations or cultures that can only do one city at all.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of how would I put this? There is a lot of emphasis on controlling a lot of resources on the map.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they wanted to make it where even if you played tall, you could still try and extend your influence over a large area because by bringing in the minor factions.
Yeah. But then you can't get the minor factions unless your influence already reaches there. So it's a question catch-22 where like your influence only like you know the only way that I've found that I can actually get minor factions to join me is if I not only pacify them but also have a city next to them so that my influence is already there. Yeah.
I honestly don't mean to interrupt. Trapper, by the way, Pink.
I saw. Thank you.
Oh, you did? Okay. Sorry. Go on, Addy.
But
Yeah, it starts to become a thing. The minor factions, if memory serves, you really want to stick to the questing way of bringing them in, just because that also brings in rewards and experience for the unit.
Coming your way. Sorry again, guys.
No, that's fine. It took me a long time to figure out how to customize your units in that game.
Yeah, I just figured it out recently, but my problem is that like I just really don't vibe with the combat mechanic.
I'm not big on the combat in those games for sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd say by the time Amplitude put out Humankind, their combat system in that game is a lot better, but it only gets a lot better in the later parts of the game. Like from the Neolithic to I'd say medieval, combat in that game just sucks, and I hate it, and I don't like utilizing it. And Endless Legend is even more bare bones than Humankind, so yeah, I wasn't keen on the combat system they made for that game. It's unique, which is cool, but I don't like interacting with it, so I opt not to.
Yeah, me too. Like my experience is that I've tried to because like I figure you can make plays to me that are better than just rolling the dice on the auto battles. But at the same time, when I try to play the game, it's just like, okay, so here's the next 20 minutes. You will look at the numbers, and the numbers will not fucking change. You do not have any abilities. You don't have any fucking thing. Everything's already decided by the people or in the fight. There was the like third or fourth time that I tried doing a manual fight. I spent the entire fight with trying to move a unit from one side of the map to the other, and they couldn't because the AI blocked their path, and that just meant that they don't fucking move that turn. What the hell? Like, you know, I don't like it. It's both too like it has the framework to support a lot more complex fighting mechanic, and then they just don't have that. So it's the worst of both worlds.
Yeah.
What we're talking about?
What, Mike?
Endless Legend.
Okay.
It's like if Civilization was more fantasy and also more advanced.
Okay.
Space opera fantasy.
But yeah,
I remember Ted asked, what game is that? And I just simply had to say, not for you.
Oh, but yeah. To go back to the cultists, so they were a pain in my ass for the longest time, and then I had my kingdom, just my empire, just completely circled them around, and then I forced them into peace. And then I went, okay, fine. I can. I at this point I made like 1,000 influence of a turn, or something like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that gets pretty brutal.
So I was like, I can support fucking like 4 or maybe 5 like paying people off with influence, 4 or 5 of them at this point, and not feed it. So I went, okay, I'll force everyone into peace that I can. And then just work around that. The only people that I couldn't force into peace, by the way, were the Swarm, which I don't think that they can do peace.
Nope. They're immune.
Yeah,
they are fuckers. They just simply need to die. There is no like the moment you see they're on the board as any other faction, it's like I'll figure some way around this if I have to. The Swarm, it's also like, okay, time to start building military units.
Yeah.
It is just simply going to happen. It is not a question of if, it is a question of when.
See, that was a funny thing for me because the Draken have a special ability where they can force a truce. That's their that's a thing.
Yeah, you can't
So
put them in that situation.
I don't think you even can put the necrophage into truce.
You can.
I think you can. Okay,
Well,
I'm wrong.
Here's the thing. I'm not sure if you can do it normally. The Draken have a special thing where they can specifically force a truce, and you can force
Yes.
them into a truce. But you might only
Which
be
in
able
that
to
case, you
force
can
it.
still fight in neutral territory, but they just can't attack your own territories anymore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So what I did was I had peace on everyone, and then every 3 turns they would just be like, truce is fine, but you know what's better? War. And then I go, no.
How about
Yeah.
no?
And then we did this until I got diplomatic victory.
Nice.
Counter offer, no.
Yeah. But yeah, the cultists were weird because the mercantile people and the deep blue ones, I don't know who they are. They're like, I feel like I associate them with like deer antlers for some reason. The guy has like antlers on his outfit or something like that, but whatever. They do two other factions, the human ones, the regular human ones, I guess. Every like I don't know 10 or 15 turns they would try to break the peace and then go back to Cold War, and I would have to turn them down. The cultists never objected to being in the cultists never objected to being in peace, and then eventually I want to say at like turn 250 I go like something's off. They like why aren't they complaining? And then I go and it just says blood brothers. We never talked.
Yeah.
We never talked. What do you mean? I forced you into peace once.
So, you played Persona 4 Golden and not the original, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you remember that near the end of a social link with any party member in Persona 4 Golden, level 8 or level 9 of friendship, the game would say, you have reached such a degree of friendship with Kanji that he will now give his life to save yours.
Right, real quick, Pink, if you can see where I went down, I'm right next to that's where the boon is, or the
Okay.
Noid is. Just so you know. I'm the one
getting to the
crawling
store,
away.
so crawl to me and you should be fine.
I see you. Okay.
Yeah.
Go on, guys.
Yeah. So you remember how that went down, right?
Yeah.
So notoriously in Persona 4 Original, you would complete level 1 of friendship with any of the party members, and the thing would be, you have just barely started your friendship with Kanji. He will now die for you.
Yeah, nice.
So a little bit of a goofy thing that may have been acceptable by Japanese social standards of what qualifies as friendship, but here in the West, we're like, no, generally speaking, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
We showed this motherfucker what for.
You became.
I was running around the whole map looking. I thought he's doing really, really badly. I bet he's got Noed, and sure enough. But fortunately, everyone was able to do a good job of taking care of that.
You have earned Nanako's friendship. She will now die for you. Up to 10 hours later, or whatever, 30.
It's a lot more than that.
Yeah.
That's Persona, brother. Pink.
Yes. So
yeah, there you go.
I've got very similar situations to all of you guys, because we've all mentioned the 4X genre at this point. Well, I guess Tropico, I'm not
Tropico's a
sure
city
which
building.
one that
City
building.
I just remember the
Very
other one.
similar, but still a bit different.
Yeah, go ahead.
But for me, in Civilization 6, which is my casual fallback, if you notice, if you've been listening to all these podcasts, all 349 of them, or whatever we're at right now, my answers usually relate or circle back to Civilization 6, and they will again today. As the Aztec, I will happily farm a city-state, As the Aztec, you want to declare war on a city-state, like, first thing, and then just brutalize every warrior they send your way. And if you're lucky, many of those warriors will be converted into workers for your empire. It is great. It is lovely. It is sadistic. And you don't realize it until you've got a whole army of builders working in your capital city, and you're like, hey, these guys all used to be a part of a completely different civilization, but now they work for me as slaves. This is kind of messed up.
Yep. Yeah, their one in particular, like Civ is always, Civ generally encourages you to liberalize somewhat as the years go on, if not start off liberal, even by ancient and medieval standards. Aztecs, it's like, yeah, no, we don't do that here.
Oh, I also remember the save answer to this.
What's your Civ answer?
As y'all know, I usually play Japan. I'm pretty sure I've even talked about this game on the Discord. But there was one game where I started off next to Alexander the Great, and I went, okay, cool, I'll make peace with Alexander the Great because I know that he's a problem. He accepted. Fine. And then we were in an alliance, I think, or something similar. So I just moved some of my troops into his part because he was getting attacked, if I recall, something like that. And then he just goes, I don't like how the samurai is looking at me. And I went, okay, and then I broke the alliance and declared war on him, and he died.
Civ always writes the dialogue.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Civ always goes out of their way to write the other leader's dialogue is deliberately obnoxious to try and encourage the player to declare war on them. Like, even most of the Civ leaders, like, their dialogue for when you've become the closest friends ever with them is, I kind of like you, but I'm way better. And then underneath, in parenthesis, you have become best friends with this Civ leader. And it's like such a transparent thing by, Fire Axis to indicate we want to punish the player for war in every possible way, but also we want to encourage the player to hate other Civs, even the ones they're allied with, because we're still not sure what game we're trying to make here.
They want to give you a little bit of combat so you don't feel like it's just city builder.
Yeah.
At the same time, you engage in a single combat, and everyone on the globe is like, "My God, you warmonger!
You heathen! You must die! Pay for your sins with blood!"
You little singular city India versus the 12-city empire of Rome. You dared to kill a single one of their swordsmen? You tyrant! You fascist!
Oh yeah, now that you'll say this, it's actually happened in that game, and then everyone declared war on me, and then did nothing because I had the largest empire.
Yeah.
It all worked out.
Especially.
Thank you, Alexander the Great, for making my empire twice that big. We were the two largest.
Alexander is the best military Civ in that game. So honestly, once you've eaten him, the other Civs do have good reason to just go, oh shit, not fucking with him. Mike, you got an example?
Can you tell me again what the question was?
A time where you're doing something in a game for innocent reasons, just whether it was just for fun or for, the reason the game encourages you mechanically, and you didn't think deeply about it. You weren't doing it out of sadism. You weren't doing it out of, curiosity over whether or not the game would let you do it. But just simply for innocent reasons. And once you did this thing in question, you realized, my God, if that happened in real life, that'd be horrible.
I guess it probably shouldn't surprise most people here that the first thing I can think of is The Sims.
Oh boy!
I remember there was a time.
Oh no, I've got an answer.
There was the time I cheated on my wife with death.
There's stuff like that. You can do that too. Fuck! I wasn't paying attention. I just blew it.
Why can't I make baby with the Grim Reaper?
They had to patch that out.
Oh, they did. That's right. I'll have to get ready to run. She's gonna become this way because I believe.
They also patched in. So if a meteor is hitting a school, then the kids can't escape and will die.
Yeah. They're not allowed to leave class under any circumstances, even if a meteor is going to strike the school, killing everyone.
The meteor doesn't discharge you. I do.
The flaming skeleton of the teacher says, no, not yet.
Yeah. Can I go home in
Sarah Connor in Terminator 2?
Can I go home? The meteor is coming. I don't know. Can you?
I'll have to send you guys a video. I took one about, it's probably at least like 6-8 years ago, where I was playing Sims 2 with a bunch of mods, or Sims 3 rather, with a bunch of mods. One of them, which is a nude mod, and this goes way back. This is a very deep cut here. I have it to where the characters can all be nude, male and female. Just because, I have said again, this is like going back to 2015. I've said that in a game where the characters can have sex, I prefer to actually be able to let them have sex. Like there's a mod that actually lets them have, like actual sex and do sexual things. And so it's like, okay, that's in a game
Horrible.
Some people would say so, and I could get that.
In a game that's trying to come closer to simulating a day-to-day life, I think it's a bit more odd for sexuality to not be present.
You're right. Yeah, I mean, like, for example, there are sex mods in Skyrim. I've never used those, but in The Sims, it just seems appropriate. It's like, well, you're supposed to, you're not necessarily supposed to, but you have, the options to court various characters and romance and, have whatever sexual liaisons with them and stuff like that. So why not make it to where they can get nude when they do it? Just to me, it just makes the most sense. And there was another mod that I can't remember what the mod is called, but it gives you the ability to kill other Sims directly by your own hand in various different ways. And
usually there isn't an animation for it.
Yes. Well, in this case, there's a specific animation. There was hang on a second. I'm about to get chased. Hang on. I'm trying to be really careful here. I shouldn't have done what I just did, but I did. Oh, she missed me. Shit, things are actually working out. Okay, anyway, yeah, so in this mod that I'm thinking of, the one where you can be, attack other people with your bare hands, they did have animations, but they were horrible. So they would, for example, like you could break the character's neck, like on command, just like point to a character and like kill, whatever. And your character would go from a standing position to leaping up, like a vertical leap up onto their shoulders, and then do like a little quick twist with their hips, thus using their knees to twist the character's neck and just break it. And it was so fucking awkward and clumsy looking. And when paired with the fact that I made my character who was doing this nude with a big giant boner, it was so fucking hilarious. He literally, I didn't save the game, but just for fun, it was like, well, let's see what happens here. Let's see how much I can do this. I loaded up a saved game, and I had my character go to like the main square of town where there were like 8-10 other people just like enjoying their winter festivities. And I just ran in there, took off my clothes, and just like immediately ran around, just started killing everybody. And eventually the Grim Reaper showed up because I was killing so many of these people. And then eventually I had sex with him.
Nice.
Yeah, he eventually like got down, and I had like this sensual sex with him.
You may not have realized it, but you just role played Thanos, my man.
This is true.
Jeez, maybe I do need to see these movies then.
Movies.
Yeah, they thought that was too stupid and wouldn't work in the movie, so they changed Thanos' entire motivation.
Oh, okay, I see. What I'm describing isn't even. I still have a clip somewhere. I'll upload it for you guys, like on our channel or whatever, so you can all enjoy it. But actually, that just reminds me that after that summary, this is gonna like be very anticlimactic. But I can just think of a lot of times in Sims where, let's say, for example, I was playing a single male character, which is usually how I'll start the game. I'll usually play with a single male character and then start raising a family and then play their generations and so forth. And,
single female with large ass. The only way.
Sometimes. Actually, wait, hang on one second, because we're actually about to win this match, so I need to go look for a door. And I don't think any of them are anywhere near me. They're not, but we'll see how well we can do here. Actually, give me.
You want me to cover for you?
Yeah,
I can also cover, because I also remembered something.
Yeah, go ahead, because we're in the end game here and we need to concentrate.
All right, W, do you want to go first, or should I?
I think I can hit mine pretty quickly. I started a game of Sims once as a singular dude. And, I ran into some Sim NPC out in the world that Nina Caliente or Dina Caliente, one of the ones they put in every Sims game. And so I had my Sim romancer, and they get married and yada yada. And then as soon as I put the ring on it and she moves in, I see, lifetime desire, ruin 20 marriages.
Yeah.
Oh, no. So but nonetheless, I'm like, oh, fuck it. I've never deliberately played a bad person in Sims. I'm going to give it a shot. The issue was she had gotten pregnant and they had a kid. And so I kept having her go out and cheat on the main Sim dude I created to split up relationships because that's her lifetime want. And as a result, my original Sim dude that I made kept getting into fights with her because she kept cheating on him. and the daughter would just have to watch her parents fight and get in these horrible fights because her dad wants to be a monogamist and her mom has a lifetime desire to ruin relationships. And I looked at it and I realized I have created the most fucked up family dynamic ever that has definitely happened many times in real life.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful. That's actually really sad when you think about it.
It was. I got at a point I had to stop just because like this game of Sims has gotten too depressing.
That's pretty great.
Then you installed the murder mod and the nude mod and had the guy naked.
That way I end other people's depression by escorting them from this earthly coil.
Yeah.
Are you safe, Pink?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you can go ahead.
But yeah, my thing was actually it was for a recording of ours that never got made because the video got corrupted. Red Dead 2. So actually, now that I think about it, there's multiples of that because the game inhibited us from playing it while not also paying for DLC or microtransactions straight up. And
yeah, Red Dead Online is awful.
Yeah, Red Dead 2 online. Red Dead 1 online probably better.
Oh, Red Dead 1 online is a lot of fun. It's not got a lot of content. It's more or less just you running around the Red Dead Redemption world, shooting the place up. But it's a lot of fun.
It does sound fun. I forgot they even had that.
Yeah, I think it's still running. It's quite neat.
Huh.
But yeah, so in Red Dead 2, we tried to play the game. I think there was like a free weekend or something like that, so all three of us had access to it. And we sat down, wanted to do a video because we did GTA 5 online as well, and that was fun. And then Red Dead 2 online, since it was made after GTA Online's existence, they started out with you can't fucking do anything unless you pay up, pay.
Yeah.
And so we had to make our own fun. Now, one of those was we stole a train to go meet up with Pink, who inexplicably spawned half the map away from us, from the two of us.
Yeah.
Once we went up with Pink, the first thing I did was I tied him up and threw him down the cliff because we met on the cliffside.
Yeah, because Red Dead Redemption 1's online multiplayer made sure to remove the lasso so that you couldn't lasso other players and hogtie them and then do whatever you wanted to them while they were hogtied. Red Dead 2, for whatever reason, they didn't do that. So you can lasso other players and then hogtie them, which will disable them for like at least a minute while they mash the button to try and get free.
Yeah, and so what happened was I threw Pink down the cliff. He somehow survived. So W had to climb down the cliff to get Pink, free Pink, and then climb back up with Pink so that we can actually go somewhere, the three of us. But then the other one...
And that's not...
Yeah?
That's not even the fullest extent, because remember, Red Dead, you can lasso somebody while you're on horseback or on the train, and they're not.
Yeah.
And they just get dragged along with it and have their face rubbed off.
But yeah, the worst thing that I did in Red Dead 2 Online, though, was we were in a city, like a small town. I forget which one, but it was one of the ones in the middle of the wilderness, which really narrows it down, I know. And yeah, W was, I think, petting a dog. And
most innocent thing a character could be doing.
Yeah, I think W was either petting a dog or trying to pet a dog. No, he was definitely petting a dog. And I was just running by on horseback, and I just I shot the dog while running by full speed on horseback, and then so I shoot the dog, and I just hear W going, Eddie, why?
Right.
And like I'm nowhere near. And like in the game, it was funny. I wouldn't do it in real life, obviously, but still in the game, it was funny.
Like, were you doing it just like as a challenge to yourself? Like, I wonder if I could actually hit that from a running horse.
I thought I would miss.
Right, understandable.
It's the nature of Rockstar games. But I remember there were several times in that when we played GTA where like. Well, what was that time when we were playing and like you were in a big firefight with the cops And you kept saying, Alex, pick me up, Alex, pick me up, Alex, pick me up. And I was just zoned out for whatever reason, just focused on driving, so I didn't notice. I just drove right past you, didn't bother to stop and pick you up at all. And as I drive past you, you get louder and you start to do it. Pick me up before you go. Pick me up before you go. Don't leave me hanging like a yo-yo.
Yeah.
And at some point, like, I don't know, 5 minutes later, I'm parked in the car and I'm just kind of looking around like, oh, what's going on over there? And I just abruptly get executed from the fucking backseat of the car because Addy finally caught up to me and killed me for leaving him.
Yeah. And then I like so. Well, I remember what happened now. Well, more or less. I remember what's in the video that's on the channel at least. But yeah, it was that, and then if memory serves, you weren't paying attention because you just found your first lowrider in the game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was super hyped up and focused on the lowrider. I was trying to figure out how you could work the pumps and shit.
Yeah, and then when you figure out how to work the pumps, and the second you press the button is when I shot you.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I was so pissed because I had just figured out how to set it to start jumping, and the very first jump, I was midway through the jump, and you domed me in the back of the head, and I was like, "Oh, motherfucker!"
Yeah. and then I did and then we did the race. And Pink, if memory serves, Pink beat me by like a split second, and then we didn't agree to like an actual whatchamacallit, an actual like reward. So I was like, okay, improvise. So I got out of the car and shot Pink.
I was on the other side of the map. I was on the other side of the map. I had fallen so far behind in the race. All I heard was you guys in voice Addy saying, "All right, Pink, here's your reward." A second passes, then I see in the kill feed, Addy shot Pink in the head. I just say, that's what I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot that game would give you notices like that, like whatever, like so and so just whatever blew up that guy. I forgot that they would actually tell you when stuff like that would happen to your other players.
Yeah, Red Dead 1's online actually had different messages that would just randomly, like, it would not just be consistently so-and-so killed so-and-so. It was always random. So it'd be like, Addy gave Pink some new holes in his head.
That's great.
Addy introduced Pink to God.
Oh, that's a good one. For me, yeah, like I said, the Sims thing at this point is pretty underwhelming after all the rest of this. But there would be times when, again, I'd be playing like a single male character, or whatever, kind of more or less, I guess, sort of like what if I played myself kind of thing. And every now and then I would, I preferred playing the game in such a way to where I would, have a family and I would be able to, whatever, get a wife and hopefully raise some good kids and carry on, my playthrough through the next generation. And so because of that, I would like to, I would, date around. I would, go check out the various women and, try and get to know them. I can't remember. It's been a while. I can't remember exactly how it works, but I think in Sims 3, there's like, I can't remember how it works, but there's a way that you can eventually find out what a person's traits are.
Yeah, you can get to know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can get to know them and figure. Well, yeah, like there's a way you can get to know their perks earlier, like faster or whatever. I don't know if it's like a character build thing or what. It's been a while, but I would eventually find out. Okay, like this character, she's pretty looking. I think that she'd make some cool looking kids or whatever. It's basically a wife shopping, which is kind of funny. This one could make some cool looking kids. She also doesn't have like some really bad traits. I could see myself getting with this girl or whatever. And so I would kind of like be sort of picky about who I would get with, trying to find like the best possible choice based on like what I would like in real life. And so sooner or later what would happen is often I would settle on a character and be like, yeah, this one. I think I'm going to go for this one. But, there'd be a good chance that because I whittled it down so specifically, that character might already be, have a boyfriend or whatever. And so it was like, okay, well, I find the game most immersive when I don't bounce around between characters, because to me that's like, it's how would I describe it? It's like, I don't know, like pulling all the strings. I prefer for the game to have some autonomy that I can't, have anything to do with. Like I could easily pick every character and make them, okay, play this character and have them start checking out this girl, and then play the girl and have them check out the guy, and yay, before I know it, instant relationship. I don't want to do that. I want the relationships to come naturally, but I still want to get with this one character. So I would go and look for this one character, find out who they are, and think, okay, well, that's the one I want to go for. Now, how do I go about doing this? Okay, I'm going to start dating them for a while, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And sooner or later, what would happen is, again, like eventually they would probably have a boyfriend, and so rather than turning into that female and having her break up with the boyfriend, I would do
You
stuff
just
like,
murder the boyfriend.
well, yeah, you see, not even necessarily
While naked with a
specifically.
boner.
Well, you could do that, yeah. During that playthrough, I probably did do that at least, from time to time, just for the giggles.
What an introduction to a girlfriend to be. Fly in from overhead, nude, snapping her current boyfriend's neck. Do a fucking 10-point stance on the ground. Get up, ladies.
Pretty much all that, just without the 10-point stance. He would just like gently sort of just fall back on his feet. He would like he would like almost like Poochie, like be pulled like by invisible strings like, onto the person's neck, contort, like twist sideways, crack, and then just like gently fall back to his feet as the person like falls over dead. It was so fucking stupid looking.
I must go now. Your neck needs me.
Yes, that's pretty much how it looked. What I would do, yeah, instead of actually making it to where the woman broke up with the guy, I would invite both of them over to my house or whatever. And while they're over there, I would like, we've all done this. I would like suddenly, oh yeah, it's funny that you and your boyfriend just came over on the day that I'm having renovations done to my house. You go over there and look at my nice big screen TV or whatever, and oh, lo and behold, here comes a wall being built around the two of you. And
it's incredible how he just stands there and lets the contractors lay down the bricks.
Yeah.
And sure enough, yeah, eventually I would like get it to the point to where, obviously the girl would then therefore not be able to interact with the guy anymore. And so like I'd start chatting her up, and sometimes it would be, depending on how well I do, I'd be able to actually have sex with her right there in the house while the guy's still stuck in the other wall.
You did the fucking Cellar of Cagliostro or whatever trick from goddamn help me here, the Raven, help me here.
Oh, I don't even know.
Oh, damn it. He was out in Pittsburgh. The gentleman who wrote The Raven. I have to look it up.
Oh, Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah.
You Edgar Allan Poe'd him.
His girl would be like, I guess today's vernacular would be getting the Chad, and he'd be there behind the wall having no idea what was going on. And here, like, as if this isn't already sociopathic enough as it is, sometimes I would kind of then just like move on, like forget. Like I'd then like go to town with the girl or whatever, like literally like go into town and bring her with me, and like we'd go to go to a show or something like that. And I'd totally forget that the guy was in there. And usually I wouldn't forget so long that he'd die, because that usually takes like 3 or 4 in-game days. It's hard to forget about that for that long. But just the mere fact, even if I'd like undo the wall and let him back out, or whether I decided to keep him in and fuck him, let him die anyway, who cares? Regardless, like it really kind of takes you to step back and say, wow, like I'm really kind of an asshole, aren't I? Like this is really about the most evil fucking fucked up,
you're building a house to say the way that they used to do in medieval times. It's fine.
Yeah, it's really on him when you think about it.
Yeah,
like Alex said, the guy was putting in the wall. He should have moved.
Exactly. And like if you put a guy in a load bearing pillar, then the pillar will never collapse.
Yeah, he's just gonna stay there, if he knows what's good for him anyway.
The thing that's really great is that, like, I know how The Sims works, and I know that before he dies,
he'll piss his pants and scream and cry and go insane. It's not an easy death.
I also like imagining that it's just a 1-by-1, so only he can fit in the room.
Oh, it was as tight as I could make it. Yeah.
Yeah,
and so like
give a valuable fucking floor space to him.
No, that's expensive.
I still need. God damn it! I still need space for my fucking flat screen.
Yeah. And then like I'm imagining the guy dies, and then that comes in through the front door, and he just goes Beetledorp, and then just point at the wall.
That happens sometimes. Yeah, the clipping or whatever, they'll go like right up to the wall, and he'll be on the other side of it. Yeah, but he'll be doing the death animation or whatever while the guy's over there on the other side of the wall in his little cavern of misery that I left him in.
My memory is that if you make the corpse entirely inaccessible, death will also just come up to the front door and go zoop and pull the guy's ashes through the fucking walls.
Yeah, I think that's what happened to me. That seems like a familiar thing that I believe I've dealt with before, because I may have done this more than once. I think everyone's done it at least the once. And it's just
I've never done that.
Really?
I
You've never
did.
done the build around the guy to stop him from preventing you from doing whatever horrible thing you want to accomplish?
So back when we were doing the Sims FOS game, where I was posting the pictures from that, I thought it'd be really. I started modding to get over the 8 sim per household cap because I wanted to add more of the people, more of the dudes from the group. There's a mod for it, yeah.
Oh.
I went a little bit overboard at one point, and around the time I went overboard. I was like, okay, I need an entertaining way to cut down on the amount of Sims because this is too many for me to manage. Because by that point, I had just about everybody in the group there. Got Caveman, you, Ted, Muda, Addy.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I had everyone. It was too much to manage, and I wasn't getting interesting shots to post on the forum anymore because it was just too many Sims to keep track of. And half of the ones would just be sitting around the computer as one guy plays SSX Tricky, and all the other Sims are waiting to get on the computer to play SSX Tricky. So,
good game.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, so I went and got a mod that was the murder knife. And it was very badly animated, but nonetheless, it was a murder knife that you could buy in, house build mode. I put it on the kitchen table. And then I had, at some point, I thought it would be funny to have Clown build a robot and name it, what was that stupid fake account he made to try to troll in the early days?
Jurgens.
Jurgens.
Yeah, Jurgens.
So I had Clown build a robot sim because Sims 2 was wacky. It would let you make new Sims that were robots, like build a robot in your garage, and it's for all intents and purposes a new Sim, but it's a robot.
Right.
But he built the robots. He built the robot Sim, named it Jurgens. And I thought, okay, it'd be really funny if anyone has to make an exit. I had Jurgens pick up the murder knife and kill my Sim and a few other Sims. So that's my Sims murder history. Was I need to get rid of some of these people, and just having them move out would be kind of underwhelming. It'd be way funnier if everyone else to read it. Me have some Sim murder the others.
That is always funny.
I think the closest we got to a Sims murder story for me was during the second session of Sims 4. Well, technically the third.
Boy.
I forget exactly who it was even, but I remember that I built a villa.
The character names don't matter. What matters is what you did, because the character names would take too long to explain.
Yeah, but basically, so I made a villa for all of our characters to live in, and then I forget who it was. I think it was one of the neighbors.
The names don't matter. Yeah. It would take too long to explain. Just simply, there was a half of the Sims you liked, and you decided half the household you didn't like.
Yeah.
Arbitrarily.
And so the
you had reasons. 3 of them were being punk asses, and 3 of them were being cool.
Oh.
But yeah, so the Sims that misbehaved got sent down into the basement, which was the glass prison. It was a part of the house. It was the entire it spanned the entire floor plan of the villa above it, and it was a thing where people people would be forced into the smallest rooms that you can make that still fits a bed and a painting easel. The walls were made of glass, and the people on the outside could come down and look on from sofas as you die painting.
He set up chairs for the good half of the household that he liked to sit in and watch as these people, as the other half of the household trapped in glass boxes, slowly starved to death. The great thing is, he actually set up a fireplace with a bunch of wooden chairs around it, initially with the plan to burn them to death in the glass chambers.
Nice.
But this is Sims 4, not Sims 1 or Sims 2, where fires happen all the time. So it never went on fire. So instead, they just watched them starve to death instead of burn to death.
Yeah.
It was a fun social experiment either way. I'm sure that they enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like. Obviously, the intentional deviancy is its own thing, and it is funny. But then in my case, I'm not trying to say that mine's better or whatever, but I can't help but admire the fact, or be amused by the fact, that in my specific case, I wasn't even necessarily trying to kill the guy. And again, I don't think I did. I think I eventually opened it up and let him out once I'd gotten his girl to like me more. It's just funny to think about the fact that just it's that casual to do something so incredibly sociopathic in that game. It's just like,
Yeah.
well, it'd be more convenient to actually just lock this guy up in a fucking dungeon
Yeah.
than whatever than to do the alternative.
There's some of those little things. Like now we've kind of deviated from the initial question, but fuck it, who cares if it, as long as it leads to funny stories. I remember Morrowind, the time I did play Morrowind for about 10 hours. And there was some, make a delivery to this guy living on the outskirts of Satanine. And he's some skooma addict. So when I make the delivery, he's kind of a dick. And he's like, oh, whatever, just give me the damn thing, you stupid human, and leave. And I remembered what you had told me, Mike, that the way you get a house in Morrowind is generally just to walk into the house, kill the current occupants, and for all intents and purposes, the house is now yours.
Yeah.
So I thought to myself, well, if I want a house, I'm going to have to kill somebody at some point. And the skooma addict, takes the letter or whatever I gave him. He might as well just looks at the letter and looks up, and might as well have seen me holding a sword with a wild look in my eyes.
Yeah, Morrowind, now that you mentioned it, is another classic one. That one's really good for, evil, whatever. What would be the term? Not derelict. What's the word I'm looking for? Whatever asshole. Sorry, go ahead.
Don't forget, you can kill any civilian in public. All you have to do is make sure they take the first swing, which is a lot harder to pull off in Skyrim than Morrowind, because Skyrim doesn't have a piss the other person off button.
You can kill anybody as long as they get the first swing. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
There won't be. It's not illegal as long as you didn't draw first blood.
As long as it was, quote, self-defense. That's right.
So Mr. fucking Daedric Armor, who has a spell that drops a nuclear bomb in either hand, walks up to this tiny wood elf fucking hobo and is like, hey, fuck you, little wood elf shit. The wood elf jumps and limply slaps the Daedric Armor small enough to cause 1 damage to this dude's 500 health. The Daedric dude then proceeds to bust out both hands. The wood elf is not only annihilated from his existence, but his soul is trapped within a black soul gem to be used eternally as fuel for magical weaponry. And the guards in Satanine just look at him and are like, okay. He threw the first swing.
Can you not also, if you have the high enough speechcraft, just taunt them into attacking you and then still kill them that way?
That's what I'm talking about. You press the taunt button. If you want to kill anyone in that game, you just press the taunt button until they get a low enough opinion of you that they attack you. And of course, if you want to get your speechcraft skill up, then the way you do that in that game is to just use taunt a bunch to piss somebody off, then just bribe them with a bunch of money until they're happy with you again, and just do that endlessly.
I forgot about that. That's right. Yeah. You can get them mad at you and then just eventually give them enough money to be okay with you after all.
Yeah. So as long as you get a decent enough amount of money, which in the early game of Morrowind ain't hard, depending on the spots, then you can just pump the speechcraft skill up super hard by just causing one person's opinion of you to be like a fucking what's those machines they use to keep rhythm?
Metronome.
A machine that's used to keep rhythm.
Metronome. Yeah, giving them, just making someone else's opinion of you a metronome.
Oh, I get it. I see what you mean. That's the kind of flexibility that Morrowind had that has disappeared over the years. You could still do stuff like that in Oblivion. It was really stupid. The stupid, the horrifying faces going back and forth between various expressions because you're quickly going through the rotation of the speechcraft wheel.
Let's see all the facial rig bones on this potato.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Very impressive. And of course, by the I don't know, the 10th time you do it, you don't want to listen to what the characters have to say. So they're doing shit like, ha ha, oh, why don't you? That's a good one. No, I don't. Oh, I'll kill you. Ah ha ha. No, I've never heard that one before. It's just they're going through the range of all human emotions right there in front of you. It's like a psychopath.
Yeah.
There's very, very, very emotionally, what would be the word? Fragile characters in Oblivion.
The thing I love is that between the fucked up dialogue speechcraft wheel and the Oblivion character NPCs already just kind of by nature having unhinged dialogues with each other. Because that game was the first one where like the NPCs should talk to each other.
Interact with each other. They say stuff like, I've heard that too.
Yeah. So one Oblivion NPC walks up. I saw a mud crab the other day. Horrible creatures.
Yeah.
And the other Oblivion NPC says, "I fucked your mother."
I've heard others say the same.
Yeah, and like, so it ends up in this weird situation where Morrowind and Skyrim, it's like the player character is the crazy person, and you're going through fucking up this world because you're a crazy person. Oblivion, it almost feels like the opposite, that you've been dropped into fucking wacko bizarro land. It's like, what the fuck is this place?
Right.
Kuma, not even once.
In a sense, it really makes sense, because what was the big DLC for Oblivion? Oh, go into Sheogorath's realm and replace him, become the new Sheogorath.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, which is why the Oblivion protagonist is technically the only Elder Scrolls protagonist to return in another game, because you run into Sheogorath again in Skyrim, and he implies that he is still the dude from Oblivion.
Oh, okay.
Crazy shit.
Yeah. That
All right,
back full circle, actually, talking about. But before you go with what you're going to do, maybe you should say what you're going to say first. I was going to actually ask you to follow up on talking to me more about the Skyrim modding, because you said that you've really sunk a lot of time into it, and you seem like you're pretty happy with how it's been going, other than the weird, badly animated creatures.
Yeah, I'd just say for now, I think that's a conversation that can perhaps wait another day, because that one's a big one.
Oh, okay.
But because I've modded a lot of stuff.
Wow.
But I will say what
all followers.
Oh, yes. Yep. This is getting ridiculous. This is too much. Come along, Master Chief. But what I'll just say, the one thing I can think of to say right now that'll be short and sweet and succinct is, you said that sex scenes and sexuality and romance don't fit into Skyrim. For instance, while in The Sims it fits, because it simulates every day.
Just to be specific, there are sex mods in the game, and I just don't. I guess maybe it's even the way I play. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like seeing the characters nude is necessarily. Well, no, I can't even say that, because I've used a nude mod or two to see some of those hot fucking custom-made characters naked. I can't say I haven't done that. So yeah, I guess I just never used a sex mod specifically. It just never really felt.
Dude, that is so fucking like. I don't know what it is where like. A few of those, we remodeled this character to look better. And it's like, yeah, that 100% worked. And that work goes for some of the male characters. Like, Interesting NPCs is one mod that I downloaded, despite the fact that most of the voice acting is terrible. But
that's the one I was going to be a part of, I think. Interesting NPC. Is that where they add, 500 random not random, but custom voice, all over the realm, and just, different characters doing different things? You just more characters to bump into that are unique? Yeah,
and a few of them can be companions. A few of them are marriageable, but most of them are honestly just dudes that you bump into, and they have I have 500 lines of dialogue you can talk to. But other than that, I'm just an NPC who wanders around the village doing odd jobs.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Just really quick. That's the one that I was going to be one of the ones where I applied for it or whatever. Interviewed, whatever you want to say it. I auditioned, and the guy liked what I did, but he didn't want me to be for the guy that I interviewed for. He wanted me to be a fast-talking merchant, because he said that my vocal cadence was more fitting with what he wanted for a merchant character that he had in mind. And he was all ready for me to do it, but he said that he needed me to get better, recording equipment. And I was like, well, that's not going to happen, especially for just doing a free voice for a mod. So
if you'll pay for me.
Right,
yeah. We got ourselves a deal.
Right. He seemed. I was like, well, I mean, is there anything wrong with my, recording that I sent you or whatever? He's like, well, it just sounds just slightly muffly. And I'm like, well, okay, well, I'll go into a different room. I can record in a bathroom or something like that. He said, well, what kind of equipment do you have? Do you have this type of microphone or whatever? I'm like, no, I have a handheld digital recorder. And he was like, oh, well, that won't do. So I was like, well, then I guess I won't either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for what it's worth, the voice direction in that mod is, to me, it seems like the voice direction in that mod is questionable, because the voice acting in that mod varies wildly, and there's some pretty bad performances in there. Albeit, I will say, I kind of forgot that Skyrim itself, voice acting kind of varies, because, there's some performances in Skyrim that are all right. My boy Keith Sharabaika is in there, and, he's fun as always. But then there's also some performances in there that are just the guards, especially, right? It's part of why the guards of Skyrim stand out is because the voice acting is so questionable for so many of their lines,
It's been so long that like I played more, or rather Skyrim so much in such a whatever. Long story short, it's been a long time, so I don't actually remember what they sound like at this point. They all kind of blur together between that and Oblivion to me.
Let me guess. Someone took your
Oh,
sweet
your
roll.
sweet roll. Okay, that's right. That's right. I remember it now.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking
Oh,
I'm
of
going
course,
to
that's
apply
the-
for the Dawn God.
Right, and naturally, that's also which is what every guard says as soon as you install that shit. Every guard must be a Dawn Guard.
And every village gets attacked by vampires.
Oh, I forgot about that too.
That's because the world's a vampire set to drain.
Yeah,
They
and
gotta
you watch
or drink.
You watch sweet little skinny old Isolde who needs you to go and get her a mammoth tusk because she's just so wimpy, but she wants to be a merchant someday. You'll watch vampires roll up to the village and Isolde pulls out a knife and charges in.
I tried to do the Dawnguard DLC, but what happened was I went up to the vampire lord, and he was like, "Yo, but what if we didn't fight and we were homies instead?" And I went, "You know what? You make a good point." And the DLC ended.
Yeah.
Fucking yes.
I mean, I
Roll
guess that makes
credits.
sense.
Like I didn't get to continue.
It
Like
needs
that.
an epilogue afterwards saying, and then Lord Volkar blotted out the sun, and while you and him hugged.
Yeah. But like the thing, the thing is that like that I feel like if feminist was like, I can fix your vampirism if we become homies, and I went, it's fine. And then the quest line just fucking broke. There, I figured even if I side with the vampire, there would be like at least like one or two more missions so that I can switch back or something, whatever. No, so I had to go to like an NPC. I had to look up how you can fix vampirism without the guy, and then I paid an NPC to not make me a
Oh, it's a
vampire.
pain in the
If
ass.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that shit when I first started Skyrim back up like a couple weeks ago. The very first aggressive NPC encounter I ran into was a vampire, and he immediately gave me, "You have contracted sanguinary vampirus." And the real issue is, I forgot that you can get medical treatment in the first 3 days after contracting it, and boom, it'll be cured. You don't have to become a vampire. So from that point forward, I was like, "Oh fuck, I gotta go to Morthal and get all that shit done." Fucking Morthal, the ultimate hole in the wall settlement in Skyrim that you can tell Bethesda just kind of put in because they had to, because there was supposed to be a city there, but otherwise they didn't give a shit.
I remember the name, but I don't remember where in the map it is.
Yeah, it's across the swamp from Solitude.
Oh yeah, the okay, that's right.
Like, legitimately, hole in the wall. I am not sure there's more than 2 quests tied to the damn place.
Ah, okay.
Like, as in, like, fucking Riverwood is bigger and more important than Morthal, and Morthal's supposed to be a province capital.
Oh, okay.
Then again, Riverwood getting the lion's share of the dev work is generally something I've observed with Skyrim. I remember one of the rare times Ted has ever complimented Skyrim was like a year ago, and he was bitching about something or other, but he then said, "I will say one thing for Skyrim, it had good attention to detail. That first merchant dude, I murdered his sister behind the house, and then he said he didn't know where she went." And I said, "No, Skyrim does not have good attention to detail, Ted. They put that in Riverwood to make you think it did. They did."
Yeah.
They front-loaded that shit because they knew that there were going to be a lot of people who played Riverwood, played Whiterun, and then maybe did the main quest, and that's it.
Yeah, I would say it's well, yeah, I don't know. We've shared our various thoughts about Skyrim before, so I've definitely already said this one. Already spoken my thoughts on that particular issue.
Yeah.
But
But
2 characters in this match, shoot, neither of whom were even spotted by the killer until just now. Now we both went down one after the other. It sucks. We're all gonna die on our first hook. Actually, I guess he's on his second. Oh no, he's just giving up. Oh well. Yeah. Anyway,
all right.
Typical trickster match. Go ahead.
I'm going to suggest that we go ahead and wrap this podcast here. And then maybe I need to take a piss, but after when I get back, maybe we could discuss if we want to do something afterwards.
Sure.
And
Castle crashing?
well,
Castle caching?
In this economy.
yeah. I actually wait, but before we can stop the recording, then we can continue to talk about the games.
Addy, say bye.
No. I'm using my influence to make you my friend instead.
Force piece.
Yeah.
Oh no! Now I've got to wait 3 turns before I can declare war again.
No, not 3. I think it was 15.
Oh no! Fuck! Time to go for the culture victory.
Yeah. All right, bye.
I am moving my scarabs elsewhere, sir.